What's up, YPG? My name is Mapaseka, and you are tuned in to the YPG Unlocked, the coolest show on the net, where we always dish out the sauce. Speaking about sauce, how savage was the comment section last week? I mean, you guys were on fire. Personally, I think we should have awarded the most savage award this week. Well, moving to a more smoother side, have you guys checked out the I've Been There poem? Well, if you haven't, then here's an opportunity. We'll be right back. I mean it, we will be right back.
Xotani bahlobo nosapho. Ndiyaxolisa kodwa oku kumele ndikwenze. Kubonakala ngathi kuphela kwendlela endinothi ndibaleke obubomi bentlungu. Ndizame konke kodwa akho nanye endisebenzeleyo kwaye akukho namnye umntu oyiqondayo loo nto kuni. Ndidiniwe ukuphila kodwa ndingaphili ubomi. Ezi ngxaki azifuni kundinika ukuphumla. Ndidiniwe ukuphila kunye nazo.
I tried getting rid of the interior problems, but unfortunately anxiety isn't an item I could return to the store, and depression does not ask for permission when it invades one's life.
Ngizamile ukuthoba izinhlungu kodwa kwenzeka umonakalo kuphela engqondweni yami. Ngizamile ukukhuluma ngezinhlungu zami kodwa umsindo wezwi awuvuma ngithi ngiyazama.
Ke fitlhile khutlong ya go ka fetiša ka bohloko. Ntshepe ge ke re ke lekile mekgwa e mengwe ya go fetiša ka bohloko e fela ga gona se se nthumetseng.
Nda lingedza u shumisa zwikapi na zwidzidzivhadzi nda ya kha inthanethe ndi tshi ita mutakalo fhedziha mbuelo ho vha u ṱungufhala na vhuṅwe vhuṱungu vhuhulu. Kha zwoṱhe zwe nda lingedza a hu na tshi tsha mbuyedza.
Tshiatebe o mamele. Marangrang le ho kgema ka dinako. Di nkile tlhotlhomolong. Di nketse ka ke tshwane le ba bang. Empa di nkile boitshepo ba ka.
Wat? Vriende, ek het dit ook probeer. Ek het myself omring met 'n klomp mense. Maar selfs al het ek dit gedoen, was ek nog steeds oorweldig met eensaamheid. So, ek kan nie meer nie.
Glo my, dis nie dat ek selfsugtig is nie. Maar ek is moeg om ander mense se persoonlikheid te imiteer. Ek wens ek kon net myself wees.
Akujami, akwakataleleki bonyana wenze njalo. Ungathini ningakutshela bonyana awusiwedwa. Ungathini ningathi kuwe, ngiyasazi leso simo, ngidlulile kiso. Kodwana uqaleki njengomuntu ohlakakho, begodu ukhuluma ngokudlulileko.
It seems like the only way to escape this life of pain. I've tried everything else, but none of them worked. And none of you gets it. Exactly. That's because I'm no longer there. I've overcome and made it to the other side.
And you can also overcome. Just like I did. I found help and happiness in the arms of the Savior.
Ngidlulile lapho.
Ek was al daar.
Ndisuka apho.
Ndo fhira hanefho.
I've been there.
Nami ngiphuma khona.
Welcome back, guys. And how amazing was that poem? Trust me, every time I listen to it, I always get goosebumps. That's exactly what happens when the YPG comes together. Speaking about the YPG coming together, how awesome was the Know My City segment last week? We got a chance to visit the YPG all the way in Umtata, and they showed us one of their most beautiful sights. I mean, how was Coffee Bay? I think it was amazing. Well, this week we will be flying down to a different city. Do you want to guess where we'll be going this week? We'll be going all the way to Durban. Let's see what the YPG in Durban have in store for us.
Hello back, Molweni, and welcome to my city, Tata.
So we are at Umtata Dam. Before this was known as the Umtata Dam, it was the Umtata River. Hence the name comes from the word Tata, which means taker, because families would throw their deceased members into the river and say Tate, in the way of believing that God would take their deceased into his hands. So, as Umtata, we do not run out of water because the mountains in winter have ice. So when seasons change, the ice melts and flows back into the dam. This is our final destination, Coffee Bay. It is about 100 kilometers away from the CBD, Umtata. In that saying, we hope you enjoyed our tour around Umtata.
Well, if you're looking for a place with peace and calm, Tata is definitely the place to be. Well, the saying goes that Tata, Tata, Tata. Well, I hope it's Tata.
Let's go.
Sanwanani, my name is Nokanya Kumalo and welcome to South Africa's warmest place to be, eThekwini, eGagasini, eDurban, the city of Durban.
Sanmonani, my name is Nomcebo and we're going to take you on a thrilling adventure around Durban. We'll show you the best places of interest.
Awezi bra ekse bafethu igama lami uNtokozo wakamathonsi umfana womZulu. So njengamanje sisenkabeni yeTheku eCity Hall.
Now, Durban is more than just its beautiful beaches, lovely people, and awesome all year round weather. Come with us to discover more. Aziye.
Durban was founded in 1835 on the sides of Port Natal and was named after Sir Benjamin D. Urban, the governor of the Cape Colony. eThekwini, from the word Ithegu, meaning the port, is ethnically diverse and rich in culture. Almost half of the residents of Durban speak isiZulu as their first language. Other languages spoken in Durban include English, Afrikaans, and isiXhosa.
If you're looking for an amusement park that's rich in Durban culture with a variety of fun activities to choose from, then look no further than Ushaga Marine World.
It is also the 5th largest aquarium by volume of water, coupled up with imagery of African cultures, as well as water slides for people of all ages.
It wouldn't be a proper Durban experience if we did not include one of our beautiful beaches. Durban has one of the most beautiful beaches with the warm Mozambican current and the Indian Ocean that makes sure that the water stays toasty all year out.
Welcome back, guys. So right here on my left, we have Durban Harbour, which is the 9th largest harbour in the world. Not only that, but it's also the busiest harbour in Africa. Well, probably the clothes you're wearing right now, if they were not made in South Africa, they came from the harbour. You know why? Because it's South Africa's main container and cargo port. Well, this is the busy side, the labor side, the working side. Now let's go to the fun side. Let's go. So guys, yeah, sesifikile bafethu. So la bafethu, what I have here in front of me is a bunny chow. Bunny chow is signature ke yala eDurban eKakasi. So bafethu, ibunny chow yenziwe nge-Durban curry, also nangesinkwa, but le la ngaphambi kwami njengoba niyibonela nje nani emathini. So it's been a long day. So let me dive in.
And this is one of Durban's delicacies. And Mr. Junior right here with me is going to tell us more about it. Please tell us more about your pineapples and spices.
Okay. I have the plain pineapples. Yes. And I have the sweet and hot.
Yes.
Okay. These are chili mangoes. Mm-hmm. They're divine. And this is boar. It's a sweet and sour fruit. It's called masao in Zimbabwe. Okay. These pineapples, at the very moment they have a secret sweet spice. If you want them sweet and hot, I can make them sweet and hot. If you want them hotter, I can make them hotter. If you want them Indian hot, Zulu hot, white hot, I will make it for you. I will make sure you get satisfied when you leave my table. Besides that, it's very addictive. You might come back for more.
Thank you so much, Mr. Junior. Please, can I have one?
How you like it? Sweet or sweet and hot?
Sweet and hot.
Just like you.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let me get a nice chill one. Okay, a little bit of a chili. Mm-hmm. A little bit of a salt.
Yes.
And this is my secret spice that no one knows what's inside. You are ready to join the pineapple world.
Thank you so much, Mr. Junior.
You're welcome.
And that's it for today. Thank you. So behind us, we have the iconic structure, which is the Moses Mabhida Stadium, which was voted the most popular stadium in South Africa. We've hosted 7 FIFA World Cup matches, as well as the semi-finals, which were attended by the likes of John Travolta, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Paris Hilton in 2010. The stadium has won 27 awards up to date and is also the highest utilized stadium in South Africa. It's named after a giant of a man, Moses Mabhida, who is also one of those who fought for a non-racial and a democratic South Africa. As you can see, the art of the stadium, it is not just a design, but it was inspired by the Y shape on the flag of South Africa. Now on the fun side, here at Moses Mabhida Stadium, you can go on a Segway ride,
a cable car ride, and you can also go bungee jumping. Now that's all for today's Durban segment. There's more to the city than we managed to cover today, but if you want to experience more of Durban, come and visit us. Goodbye. Thank you to our fellow Durbanites. I think, guys, we should admit Durban truly does rock. Now, guys, do you know about the photo challenge that is going on in the YPG? Well, the FJU in Brazil had their event last week, and ours has commenced already. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, later on, Sipo will give us more details about the photo challenge. For now, let's cross over to PJ, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for that, Mapaseka. And what's good, YPG fam? It's great to be here on one more YPG Unlocked. It's awesome to be here with you guys because here we know there's always too much sauce. Now, before we head up to the segment which will be introduced by the YPG media regarding the photo challenge, I'd like to speak a little bit more about the YPG projects. We have all the projects who work in conjunction, who work together, who work in harmony. And there is no project that's more important than the other. They are all as important. Some seem a bit more appealing than others, considering that they have more volunteers and more participants, where others have a little less. We have the Uniforce that kills it when it comes to social work and assisting people after, events, tragic events which take place. We have the arts and culture, which brings that sauce, that vibe as you watched the I've Been There poem, the songs which you guys hear. We have the media, which produces the Unlocked. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the media. The sports, which keeps our champions fit. We have the watchmen. We have the secretaries who keep our stuff organized. We have the archangels, which reaches out to those of you who were once left or who really want to be back. The archangels will reach out to you. And we have, of course, the Help Project. How can we forget about one of the most important projects in the YPG, the Help? No, I did not forget about the universities. I did not forget about you guys. But today, I want to emphasize the Help Project. Why? Because there are so many people who are depressed. This week, I received a stat of the number of suicide around the world amongst teenagers, and South Africa is not lagging behind with that. And this is exactly why we have the YPG Help Project. Shortly, you are going to listen to the story of Winile, who went through hell and back, low self-esteem, and she was somebody who, along with many others who shared their stories here on The Unlocked, who allowed others to shape who they were to become because of the void that they carried on the inside. And this is what the YPG Help Project is all about. Those of you who are struggling with a low self-esteem, you who are depressed, we're talking to you who are suicidal, you who feel like quitting or giving up on life. You've given up maybe on yourself, but we as the YPG, we will never give up on you. We have at the bottom of your screen right now our deeds. And if any of you would like to reach out or be reached out, do yourself that favor and do get in touch with us. And by the way, I would like to appeal. Please, comment section, hold on just a little bit. Pay close attention. I would like to appeal to all the YPG members, the YPG mentors, the project coordinators, the YPG coordinators, and so forth, that you make sure that you are sharing our content, most especially to those who are needy. Every week, we've been cutting out the stories of those who have been joining us here, whether online or in the studio, and sharing their stories of how they overcame. We would like you to overcome, your friends to overcome. You're in high school, you're in varsity. Make sure that they also hear the story and that they may know that there is a way out for them. We're going to go for a short sting. Yes, a short sting. No long breaks, guys. We know what happened last week. You guys are really going savage on us, without a doubt. Mapaseka didn't escape this one either. So we're going to go for that. And when we come back, we're going to connect with Winile, who is going to share her story and tell you how you can overcome as she overcame. We're going to be right back. Don't move. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you've been through. In the YPG, we're here to help you and never to judge you. And this is what happens to Winile. When she came to the YPG, she felt rejected. She felt like practically a nobody. Down from the Val, Winile is connected with us and she's going to share with us her story. How are you doing today, Winile?
I'm good, and you, Pastor?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. So, Winile, share with us your story. Tell us what happened in your life that the YPG helped reach out to you.
Okay, so I lost my mom at the age of 8. So growing up, I was raised by my grandmother. So after the loss of my mom, my dad decided to get married a year after my mom passed on. So usually my family is people who are very traditional. So what they did, they whispered for me that my mom passed on. So they then told me that she's in KZN. So I grew up knowing that no, she's in KZN, she's going to come back. But that was not the truth, because I remember there were times where we had to go to the graveyard, and there they would say I should talk to her and tell her that I want to pass at school. But it was confusing for me because of I would go to the graveyard at the same time I had knowledge that no, she's going to come back. So it really disturbed me. So when I was in high school, I then took a decision that, you know what, I have to start dating so that I can find someone who can fill the void that was inside of me. So I then started changing different men. I would date from one guy to another, but even those guys, they wouldn't feel what was inside of me. And whenever I would had to go back at home, there was my grandmother there. She would say to me painful words like, I won't finish school, I'm going to be a prostitute. That even gave me more courage to say, okay, fine, I'm going to change this man, because even my grandmother can see that I'm someone who does not have future. I then met a guy in 2013 that I dated for 4 years. So with him, it was different because I saw that he could understand what I was going through. He was someone that I can say he was someone that I can cry or I can depend on emotionally, but he took advantage of that. So I also had bad friends in that time, whereby the guy said to me, I have to prove that I love him. I didn't understand what it meant by the time. I then went to my friends, I asked them, what does it mean to prove that I love a guy? They then said, no, because you are now your relationship too long with this guy, you have to sleep with the guy to show that you love him. Took that decision that, okay, I'm going to sleep with the guy. But after sleeping with him, things became even more worse now in our relationship, because he then started cheating on me. He would treat me anyhow because he saw that I was depending on him. And now that I slept with him, I even lost value in myself. I didn't find a reason or a purpose to live anymore. I remember I started having suicidal thoughts, and there was no one at home that I could speak to because they were very ignorant. So I had suicidal thoughts. I remember there was a time I took pills, but I didn't have the courage to take those pills.
When people would see you on the outside, could they perceive what was actually going on the inside? Was it something that they could notice what was really going on in your life? Did you let people know, or was it something that was secretive?
No, I would pretend as if I am happy, because whenever people would see at me, I was someone who was very bubbly. They would see Winile as someone who was very bubbly, but that was not the truth. I was the only one who was knowing what I was going through, because I wouldn't talk to anyone about it. But what I would do every night, my pillow would be wet because of tears, because every night I would cry, and I would call the name of my mom to say, you know, I would even blame God for it, to say if God never took my mom, my life wouldn't be like this. So I was the only one who knew what I was going through. I was not telling anyone about it.
Tell me something. What was the peak? What was the climax of your suffering, of your pain?
It was when, or there was a time whereby I went to my friend's place, and I went there because of I came back at home at night, and my grandmother said I should go back where I came from. So I was with my friends at that time. When I came back, she beated me up, and I had a blue eye, and I had to go to school with that face. And when they would ask me what happened to you, I had to lie and say, no, I fell. But it was because of what happened at home. So, yes.
So clearly, you went through hell and back. But tell us, how did you turn things around? How did the YPG help you overcome what you were going through?
Okay. I was invited in the YPG, and I had a mentor, someone who was mentoring me. She was someone who was very welcoming, and I could talk to her since I had no one to tell what I was going through. I then became honest with what I was going through, because I was tired, and she told me that I had to take a decision about my life. I also then had to compare between the life that I was living and what I took from her. what would be good for me. I then took a decision that I am going to leave my boyfriend. It was not easy, but it was a decision that I had to take for myself because I was tired of living a life of pretending as if I was happy, but in the inside, I knew what I was going through. So I took the advice that I got from the YPG. I decided to leave my old life behind, and I took a decision to say, to start a new life.
So now tell us, who is Winile today? Do you still carry that burden inside of you, that pain? Are you still suicidal? Do you still have to pretend to others? Who is Winile today?
Winile today, she's a changed woman, a very happy person, someone who likes to help others. I don't go around looking for love in wrong places anymore, but I value myself. I value myself more than I ever did before. I am there for myself. I understand that God has a purpose for my life. So there's no need for me to be going around and being someone who looks for love. And there's no need for me to even pretend to be who I am not, because I know that whenever I go to God and tell him this is what I'm going through, he always lifts me up. So Winile today, she is a very happy person.
That's awesome. That's really amazing. Now, Winile, I'd love for you to look into your camera as if you were looking into the eye of someone who today is facing exactly what you faced in the past. What would you say to them?
To everyone who is going through what I went through, what I can say to you is that take a decision like I took a decision, because of you are the only one who knows what you are going through. You may pretend whenever you are with people as if you are someone who is happy, or be in that relationship whereby you know that you are only pleasing the person that you are with, but whenever it's at night, then it's hard for you to even sleep because of the tears that are always on your pillow. So you have to take a decision about your life, because of no one can change the pain that you are feeling unless you take a decision to change the way you live.
That's what's up. Just before you go, Winile, make sure to send a shout out to the YPG in Val and tell us, where can those who are in Val find you guys?
Okay, I would like to say a shout out to the Val Triangle, and you can find us here at shop number 4, CRN Swart Street, next to OK Furniture.
Awesome, simply awesome. Wherever you go, the YPG's just got too much sauce. Thank you so much, Winile, for sharing with us your story. And in continuation to what I was mentioning just before Winile came on, there is a way out. There is hope. You do not have to live a life of pretense. You don't have to pretend that you are something that you aren't. You don't have to give off the image of others for their validation. You can be yourself and still be approved by yourself, and above all, by God himself, because that's all that really matters. And here in the YPG, we're going to help you. We're never going to judge you. Once again, you're going to see at the bottom of your screen our deeds, where you can freely get in touch with us. By the way, our toll free, our helpline is toll free. Get in touch with us. Wherever you are in South Africa, uckg.org.za, there is a section where you can get the addresses. Where there is a UCKG branch, there is a YPG branch as well. In order for us to be able to reach out to you, don't suffer in silence. Don't suffer alone. As a matter of fact, you aren't alone. The YPG is here for you. That's it from me. Now, the team is going to take over. I'm going to be handing it over to Sipho and Mapaseka. They're going to be speaking to you about the photo challenge, one of the biggest events that's going to be taking place this year. It has begun around here in South Africa. It took place last week or the week before, if I'm not mistaken, there in Brazil. It was something awesome. It was something amazing. And South Africa is also on that sauce, on that vibe. From me, I'm going to be signing out, but the team is going to take it from here onward. So do not disconnect, because you know, in the YPG, we got too much sauce.
Are you excited about the photo challenge? Well, yes, but you might be a bit freaked out. Well, I say don't. We all know that professional photography may seem a bit daunting, but what we're going to do here today is give you a few tips, give you a few guidance points that can help you in this photo challenge so that you can actually come out this and do some great work. Well, I want you to actually pay attention to some photo compositions, photography compositions, starting with filling in the frame. Filling in the frame helps your subject to stand out because it's all that is seen in the scene. You see, number 2, we have understanding the rule of thirds. Well, when you have 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lines in your frame, you create intersections. And if you align your subject into one of these intersection points, it helps your subject to actually stand out and create a more appealing feel in your shot. Number 3, framing. Framing is when you put your subject in a position where they are actually framed. We're not talking about being framed or being guilty, but no, like framed, like where they framed in another object, like a bridge, a circle, a ring. And these things actually make the subject to pop out a lot more because it drives the eye directly to that. But also, I want you to know that you can be free, experiment, go out and make this photo challenge, but have fun with it. These rules, you don't have to stick to them all the time, but use them as a guide and go and do a lot more. Go research about leading lines, look more about other rules of composition that can help you get this better. Now, let's break some of the confusion in the categories for this photo challenge. Starting with black and white. Black and white just capture a scene that looks a lot better, or it communicates a lot better in monochrome instead of color. Pet. Now we have pet where you can actually get any pet, but it doesn't always have to be a pet. Use this pet, interact with others, showing tired, excited, interacting with humans, but it doesn't have to actually be a pet. It could be any animal in this case. I mean, some people might have lions as a pet, you know? We have travel. Get a travel shot. It could be someone heading out. It could be someone while traveling, mid-traveling, or arriving, or they just arrived at their destination, traveling, but make it look exciting. What happens during the traveling? Maybe they run out of gas while traveling or something, you know? Make it interesting. Tell a story. We also have bulletproof dating. I want you to know that only married couples are allowed to participate in bulletproof dating or to be in the shot. But think, what do couples do while dating, and what is the result of the actual book, Bulletproof Dating? Now, radical change. Radical change is an awesome one. Why? Well, show the most insane transformation of someone or something. And I want you to know that edits are actually allowed with this one. Now, we've also got spontaneous. What's the meaning of spontaneous? Well, something that is not premeditated. It is unplanned. So can you capture a shot? Can you capture a moment that is candid, that just happens, and make that seem like, wow, no one was expecting that? Do that for spontaneous, and it will look amazing. Say, wow, how did one capture such a timed shot? Now that is spontaneous. We also have time lapse here. Now, looking at time lapse is when you tell a story through time. But now in this time, it has to be in a still frame because it's photography. So find a way. This could be due to long exposure or having multiple elements that tell the actual story of a time change in one shot. I want you to know that you can also edit in this one as well. We have 4 seasons. Yes, 4 seasons, but it's using one season and capture the best moment of that particular season chosen. And we also got international. This represents a nation or a country. So get a photo that represents your country, no? We've got meme. I don't have to say much about meme, but the fact that captions are allowed in this one. Mosaic. Well, can you make a picture with a bunch of elements that are grouped together? This could be a group of YPG members. This could be coins, objects. It could be a number of random items, but to tell a story through things that are packed together. And yes, editing is also allowed in this one. Now, here we've got cinema. This is quite a deep one. It's the art of visual storytelling. So look for cinematic rules. Well, rules of photography, videography, cinematography, and tell a story using these. I want you to tell a story in the best way that is possible and use these things. For example, we've got things like communicate via angles. We have set the mood using low lighting, bright lighting, or whatever type of lighting for the feel that you want to create. And get creative with color grading and a lot more stuff that you can look into. But this is just to create a whole cinematic vibe in it. We also have creativity. Well, try to get the most creative photo, but a raw photo that is creative, that just tells a story out there. Visual effects. This one's also deep. To a photo, but not to take away from the message, not to complicate things in there. Edits are also allowed in this one. Now, style. Show that the YPG got style. It's as simple as that. Think, what's the best way to show style in the YPG? We've got help. Give an example of the YPG helping someone in whatever way. It's best to tie it to the project of help. Profession. Well, the YPG creates professionals. So how do you show that in this photo challenge? Now, all the other categories that I did not mention are straightforward, more or less. So include those, but remember that everything also has to tie in with YPG in order to apply. So it's the YPG being involved in the actual photo, and this way it will apply to the photo challenge. I want you to remember that the Telegram is where the votes will be made. On our Telegram, the YPG RSA channel. That's where each vote will be made and where your votes will count. Remember that PJ and the other photographers in this are neutral. They are not picking sides, not choosing who gets an upper hand or anything. Everyone is neutral and judges will be made. You also need to know that we as provinces are not allowed to show big attributes of our city that will make us stand out just so that we can get our members to vote for us. We can get other members to vote and they say, oh, that's that province. I recognize it. Let me vote there. No, the winners will actually be picked based on which photos are amazing, which photos speak more, which ones are the best, not just which one gets the best votes. But yes, the votes do add a lot to the whole challenge as well. So the submission for the photos is the 25th of September. So get your photos. I hope you're working. Comment down below. Let's see who's already at it, who's already on fire. And we want to see you and this source that you got for this photo challenge. Back to you, Mapaseka. And remember, the YPG has got too much sauce.
Thank you, Sipo. Well, I'm definitely learning a lot from the YPG. Well, guys, I have my camera ready. What about the provinces? Are you guys ready? Not forgetting, guys, that the votes for the photo challenge will be taking place on the Telegram app. So if you don't have it, make sure to download it. Also, make sure to scan our QR code to access the channel. Well, guys, that's it from my side. And remember, say it with me, YPG has got too much sauce.
Haven't you all been wondering who and where is the capital city of the YPG?
Soweto, we are the capital city of the YPG.
Yes! So we are the capital city of the YPG.
Ayoba YPG.
Ayoba YPG.
Ayoba YPG.
Ayoba YPG. We are the capital city of YPG.
Yeah! Chapele YPG, chapele! Soweto is the capital city of the YPG. One.
Soweto, we are the capital city of YPG.
YPG!
YPG! YPG!
YPG!
YPG!
Yavele Soweto, yavele. Itini capital city, yavele. Yavele YPG, yavele. Soweto, capital city, yavele ya.
Soweto, we are the capital city of the YPG.
Yes! Soweto, we are the capital city. YPG! Soweto, capital city of YPG!
Soweto, we are the capital city of the YPG.
Yeah!
Who's got the fire?
Soweto!
Who's got the fire?
Soweto!
Because we are
Soweto YPG capital city.
Soweto is the capital city of the YPG, and you guys.
Yes!
Ayoba.
Kagiso.
Capital city.
Soweto! Soweto, capital city of YPG. Yeah!